Hi, and welcome to the PowerTeacher Portal and the PowerTeacher Pro overview video. This is not a full training. It is a highlight video that will show you how to navigate around in both the Teacher Portal and in PowerTeacher Pro Gradebook. If you want more in-depth training, there is training available on the Meta YouTube channel. And your district teacher leaders also have a full day training video. They are always your first line of for troubleshooting and for more information. So in this little video, I'm going to start with the teacher portal. And the first thing when you go to sign in, however your district has given you the information to get to your sign-in screen, sometimes they'll give you a URL. Sometimes your district has a tab on a website. They will tell you how to get to this screen. Once you get to this screen, you log in using your username and password that the district has given you. Remember that it is case sensitive. Sometimes you might see a message on your sign-in screen that your district has created. I will be using a training database that is totally fake data. And I have a lot of different customizations turned on. So your screen may look a little bit different than mine does. Okay, this is the teacher portal. And again, as I said, there's the portal and there is PowerTeacher Pro, which is the gradebook. What do you do with the portal? There are three main things. First thing is, this is where you go to take attendance. The second is, this is where you can see some specific student information that you can't see when you're in the gradebook. It is also where you go to get to your gradebook. This is known as your start page. And this is kind of your hub, your dashboard. We're going to talk about the different things you see in the navigation bar, in the left menu, and then on the main page itself. So upper left-hand corner, PowerSchool SIS, this is your home page. Clicking on this will, from a different screen, will always take you back to this start page. You can also use the menu that says Start Page to get back here. Going across, there is a bell. It might have a number on it. If you have notifications from the admin side, or if you have created tasks for yourself, this is where you would see them. If the caution sign may or may not have a number. It is going to be your password security. It's going to tell you the last time you signed in, date and time. If you put your password in wrong or somebody else tried to sign in with a wrong password, it would say failed sign-in attempt, and it would show you that information. The next thing you may probably not see on yours yet, but I have, it's the report queue. That means I have generated a report. And once I do that, it puts this icon on my taskbar. I can click on it, and that's where I can go and see that, yes, I did generate a report. I can click on View to print that report, and I can delete it, or I can just leave it here. It will fall off after 90 days. The next thing is the printer. This is really your print screen or print page. It will print whatever is on this page. If you needed to print something out, you could print it, you could save it as a PDF, whatever you need to do. And then a very important icon is the question mark. This is your help. This is your PowerTeacher portal help. If I go to System Help, this is PowerSchool's documentation. They will automatically put you into Teacher Help. They have some topics that they think are very timely, so you can click on that topic and read more about it. I highly recommend coming here and reading about the seating chart, the things you can do with the seating chart, how you can create the seating chart, how you can copy the seating chart. Since this is an overview, I'm not going into that full training, but it spells everything out and it's really easy to follow. The other thing, and it opened it in a new tab, so I can have this open. I can click on something to read more about it, and then I can go back and actually do the thing that I'm looking for, how to do my seating chart. The other really important thing under help you will see is meta documentation. That's documentation that we created for our users. When you come in here, I would come up to search and I would type in the word teach. And that gives you all kinds of teacher related documentation that we have created. PowerTeacher Pro, tips and tricks. Anytime you see something PTP, that means PowerTeacher Pro. You can also go to our Meta YouTube content. That will take you to our YouTube channel where you can search for videos. I mentioned there's a full day teacher training on the portal and on the gradebook. You can watch those there. Also opened in a new tab. So I'm just going to close those. The other thing you see on your navigation bar are your initials. Things you can do with your initials. You can manage your profile. You can create tasks. So those tasks that I saw here in my notifications, I created them on this link. I went to my task, clicked on create, and once you're on create, once you go to that, my task, it's like, again, like a dashboard, it will show you things you've created. You can edit them, you can delete them. And on manage profile, the important things to see here, you see your username, your employee ID, the email address that your school is using for you. You'll see a link to change your password. I know for your district, the district that I'm working with right now and sending this video to, they do not want you to change your password. If you are single sign-on or OIDC, that means you're signing in through Google or Microsoft. Do not change your password here. Initial student screen. So within the student information card, you can view different screens on about a student, demographics, emergency medical. The default screen for the portal is schedule. But if you would like to change to a different screen to be your main screen that you want to see, the first thing you want to see when you open up or click on a student's name, you can change that here. Teacher Dashboard shows you many screens on one place. You might try that. I'm going to change mine to Teacher Dashboard just so I can show you that. If you have it say yes to receive automatic emails from notifications, if the admin side pushes something to you, do you want to get an automatic email? You can say yes. Do you want to display the section number on the PowerTeacher homepage? It puts a column that says section and shows the section number. I'll show it to you. You may or may not want to do that. But I think this one's really important. I would always say yes to the last one, which is display custom class names from PowerTeacher Pro on the homepage. That allows you to, in the gradebook, you can create a custom name for a class. So a good example is an art class, and you've got 20 sections of art, and they all say art. You can make a custom name and call it Art Mrs. Jones, Art Mr. Green, Art Mr. Smith, and make that custom name. If you say yes when you're in the teacher portal, you can see those custom names for your class. Very helpful. I would always say yes here, and then click on Submit to save it. In PowerTeacher and PowerTeacher Pro, generally the Submit button is your Save button. I'm going to go back to my home screen. The other thing I see in my initials, this is where I also go to sign out. Remember, security is very important. Don't leave your teacher portal or your gradebook just sitting up in your class. I don't think I really need to tell people that, but that is where you would go to sign out. You also see underneath all those icons, you see a school. This is your school picker. If you have multiple schools that you teach at and you have access to, this is where you would see them and you would change from school to school. If you only have one, that's all you're going to see. Next to the school picker is the year. You cannot change that. That is set by the district. We recommend to them that they leave it on full year so that you can see all of your classes. If they had this on just semester one, that's all I would be seeing here unless I had a different customization turned on. So set by the district. So you have a left menu. The left menu is your navigation menu. I can click on this link to go to PowerTeacher Pro. That's how I go to my gradebook. And it will take me to the first course in my list of current classes. I can then change that once I'm in there. There's another link under each class if you want to specifically go to a class. Start page, this is your start page. It's another way to get back. Daily bulletin, if it's set up by your district, you can see the daily bulletin. You can change the date and look at past or future. Schedule is your schedule. It's your matrix. You can show co-teacher sections. You can display current or see your full schedule, but this is for you. Staff directory. These are all of the teachers in my school. And I am seeing, if I see an email, if I see a home number or a school number, it's because that is set up on the admin side. If they don't put a number in, you don't see a number here. We'll skip meals, you don't use that. If I click on reports, I am saying I want to print whatever report is in my drop-down list. And again, this is controlled by your district. They decide which reports that you can see in print. But it's printing, if I choose from the far left menu, for all of your students in all of your classes. So if you had a letter that you wanted to send to everybody and you could access that letter here, this is the place to do that. You can do a little test, the first 2 pages, just to see what it looks like. You can put a watermark on it. And when you submit it, it will send it to your report queue. That's what puts that little piece of paper up there on your navigation bar. You can do recommendations. We're going to skip that and talk about student observations. This is where you can make a private note for a student, or you can make a referral. It's an incident, something student argued with you in class and you want to refer it to an administrator. The difference between a referral and saved is a note that you've created. You can click on it, you can edit it, you can preview it, you can close it, you can delete it. These are private notes that you created. A parent is not seeing that, student's not seeing it. The only other person who's seeing it is on the gradebook side. An admin can log in and look at your gradebook. They can't do anything, but they can look at it. They could also look at your observations. They can't do anything with them. They can only look. Administrators cannot look at your teacher portal. They can't do anything. They can't even get to it unless you give them your username and password. A referral, so here's where it says referred. This is an incident, an insubordination incident that I set. I can look at the details, but I cannot edit it because it's gone to the administrator. Now, the administrator can send it back for feedback. And if it comes back to you with feedback needed, you can edit that. But otherwise, you have no ability to edit it. When you create an observation, if you were just making a note, I'm going to say this is my student in this class. It will give me a list of my students, and I'm going to click on add. If it's just a note, just an observation, I do not fill out any of these 4 fields. If it's a discipline referral, I do fill this out. So maybe, yes, Andrea was a offender. I can put in the date I observed it, a time frame, a location description. I have to give it a title. And I'm going to say this is parent conference needed immediately. And I could put my description through her phone at me. And in the description. And then I would also put what I have done. What actions have I taken? I gave her a verbal warning. I called her parents. I've requested a conference. Maybe I've done all of these things. And I can also put something in the comment. Perhaps what I did's not here. I can say, I took her phone away until after school. And then I am going to save it. If I say save it as an observation, remember I would not have filled out this part. It's just saved and it's a note. If I say submit it as a referral, it's going to tell me you can't change it after you submit it. I'm going to submit it. It's going to take me back to my dashboard. Here is my referral. And notice again, I can preview it, but I can't change it. You can do student observations here on this navigation menu. You can do it on an individual student, and you can do it in the gradebook. So 3 different places to do student observations and referrals, but it is the same screen and you do it exactly the same way. The teacher portal is a combination of both core PowerSchool and customizations. We have a lot of customizations on the screen, and I'll try to point out which ones they are. Your screen will probably look different than mine because I have everything turned on. Your district may have chosen not to turn everything on. You may see this attendance report over on the left. You might see something called daily attendance. You might see more things than I do. Those things are customizations. The attendance report is a very nice report. that gives you some information. You can filter, but again, it's a customization. The next part is the main part of your teacher portal. These are your current classes. These classes are usually in order of your period and day. So my first period, my third period, my fourth period, those are current. If I say I want to see all, again, customization, I would also see my A and B days together. This is a really nice customization. The problem is every time I go to another screen and come back, it will reset itself to current classes. We didn't write it. We have mentioned this to the author, but we have no control over that. Also, I have a little gear over here on the right. That's a customization created by Meta. If I click on that, that allows me to sort my classes however I want to. I just use this arrow and start moving things down, moving them up. Maybe I want to see all my semester 2 classes together at the bottom, or maybe I want to see all my study halls at the bottom. So easy way to move them up and down. I can reset it back to what it was, and I can also then close it. The next few columns, room, term, section number, enrollment, these are created by customizations. I have 2 customizations right now that are great customizations, one being this teacher's or term selector, another being the class attendance summary. Super great, but they also put some of these other columns in, and these things fight with each other. So your columns may be out of order. They may be repeated twice. For instance, I have enrollment over on the far left, but my enrollment is under section. Again, customization is not created by us, so we can't really fix it. If it is truly awful and you can't work with it, you can ask your administration to turn it off, but it will turn it off for everyone. But I can see this is my room. These are my terms, 26, 27. These are my full year classes. S1 would be my semester long classes. S2, my semester 2 long classes. And then my section number is really way over here. That is that section number column. If I come back up here and turn off show sections, turn off that column, we'll just see what that does. Display section number, I'm going to say no. Sometimes I will make a change, but I will not see it until I log out and log back in. Sometimes it doesn't happen immediately, but by doing that, that should take away that section number column. Then we have over on the right of those columns, kind of the meat of what we've done. There are 3 things you do with Teacher Portal. First one, go to the gradebook. This is your gateway to the gradebook. Second, this is where you take attendance. And third, this is where you see more student information. You can only take attendance on a class that is in session. So if you can get to the icon, you can take attendance. What this is showing me is I have already taken attendance for these classes. If it was just a blank circle, I have not taken attendance. So I'm going to click on the take attendance just so you can see. Okay. So I have right now in PowerSchool, if this is blank, that means everybody is here. I still have to say everybody is here. Even if everybody's here, I'm I have to come down here and click on submit. Everybody's here. If I am saying I want to mark absent kids, I can click on, I change it up here under attendance code. I can click in here beside a student in that box, and it will mark them absent. I can change this to tardy, and I can click in here, and these are my tardies. I can, even if I click someplace, use the drop down. I'm going to say, no, this kid I marked tardy actually showed up. I can mark him present. I can, let's mark this guy as tardy. I can put a note. I can put a comment on. I can say, came in 15 minutes late with the note. Or maybe he said his car broke down. Or maybe his brother stopped by and said he's absent. Whatever I put in that comment can be seen on the side, on the admin side, so they can see what you do. You can take attendance until the office does something with this. As the office comes in here and saves it and changes it or does anything, you can no longer do anything with that. Even though I can come here and I can change it myself if I come here. Once the office has done something, it's done. The other thing up here is your date. I can only take attendance for today. Some districts will let you go back a week or 2 days, 2 days back and 2 days forward, maybe a week forward. But this is all controlled by the district. If you only have one day, you can only do today. So you would then submit it. That means you're done with your attendance. That's what makes the green check mark. Again, if it's grayed out, not in session, you can't take attendance for that day. In PowerSchool, there's lots of different ways to get around from one place to another. Notice I have a multi-day. I can click on that's if I am allowed. I could mark a kid absent for 3 days. I know that this kid's going to be sick for the next 3 days or is on a field trip or a vacation for the next 3 days. I could mark that advanced attendance if my district allows me to do that. I can take attendance by seating chart by clicking here. But I can also, if I am just on this take attendance, notice I have tabs here that will take me to the same place. I can go to multi-day. Again, if I have permission, I can do attendance for future days. I don't have permission here, so I can't do that. I can say display the comments. If I have created a comment, I can now click on that and see it. So I can display and hide the comments. I can take attendance on my seating chart. And notice it will show me the kids that I've already marked absent or tardy will show there. If pictures have been loaded in my system, I will see the student's picture. I just click in that little box and I can choose absent or tardy, or I can, again, just like we did on the take attendance single, I can say I want to do all my absences and this kid is absent and this kid is absent. And I would submit it and I can do that. I can make several seating chart designs. And again, that's where I recommend that you go here and read how to do it. But you need to be on the seating chart design tab to actually do that. So that's how you take attendance. Again, major function. This is a customization called class attendance. Your district may or may not have it turned on. It's a really great customization, though. It allows you to filter for students by grade, by attendance type, and then you can copy that. You can save it as a CSV. You can print it. You can save it as a PDF. Say I want to do just one kid. I want to see all of his absences. I want to print that. I'm having a conference. Very nice customization. And then we have, I'm going to skip over to the print class reports. One on the left prints all 140 kids. One on the right will print for all the kids in my class. Same screen. I have the same choices to get a report, but it's all the kids in this class. And then we have the student information card. This is where I see more information about a student. If you have something under class information at the top, that is something that's been added as a customization. For example, report cards. If you see that, that allows you to print all of the report cards for all of your kids. It's a mass print. But you see your class. This is the class I was on. It shows me all of the kids in my class. I click on a kid and it's going to take me to the screen that I picked as my screen I want to see. Default is schedule. That's what you see. I can certainly go to select screens and select all of these other things. But it's going to bring up my selected screen. My selected screen happens to be Teacher Dashboard. Your district decides what things show on this dashboard, but you as a teacher can move things around. I want current schedule to show up first. I want all enrollments to be down here. I don't really care. I want different things in different places. All I have to do is drag them around. And when I save it and come back, when I come back, I don't even have to save it. When I come back, those things will still be in the right place. I can collapse everything. I can click on the little plus and only open certain things, keep them um, open as I need them. I can reset this layout back to the way it was when I first came in. But let's talk a little bit about what's on this dashboard. I see Quick Lookup. I used to have just Quick Lookup as my default screen because it gives you a lot of information, but now I kind of like the teacher dashboard as my default. But the Quick Lookup screen shows me my students' entire schedule and the grades that they are getting in their other classes. So if they're doing really poorly in my class, but I see they're doing really great in other classes, why is that? Are they skipping my class? I can see attendance. I can actually click into on one of those grades into that cell. I can see my teacher comments that I've created in the gradebook. I can see my class description. I can see all my assignments. I can see the scores, and I can see that for all of the kids that I'm working with. So I can also, as I said, come to different screens. One of them is print a report. And we saw I can print for all the kids in all my classes, all the kids in my class. This is that same screen, but I am only printing for this student. I'm seeing the screen name. I'm seeing alerts. These are alerts that both PowerSchool created and Meta created, or your district created. Your student line, again, set by your district. They decide what things you see here. And I can print for just this one student. When I click on another kid, if I click on the last name, it will take me back to my default screen. So say I'm on demographics and I want to see the demographics for another kid. If I click on the first name, I am staying on that kid. As long as I stay on first name, I'm staying on that same screen. As soon as I click back on last name, I'm back to my default. So check out all the screens you can see. Yours might look different than mine. For instance, I know that you may not have test results loaded yet. I do in my test database. A nice screen to look at is your emergency contact screen. That gives me contacts at a glance. This and the demographic screen, I can collapse different sections, and then I can print this screen. Anything that's collapsed would not print. So now you know how to take attendance. Now you know how to get to the gradebook. And now you know how to find information on the student, and you know everything there is to know about the teacher portal. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to go to the gradebook itself. Remember, I said that was PowerTeacher Pro. If I click on PowerTeacher Pro, which I'm going to do now, it opens up this screen. And in this screen, I am now in the actual gradebook. If I click back on current classes, it takes me back to the teacher portal. It's one way to get back and forth. It's an easy toggle, but a tip that I like to show is if I click up here, right click on PowerSchool Sys and say open this in a new tab, it will open the same screen. And now I'm going to click on that new one, and I am going to click on PowerTeacher Pro. Now I'm in the gradebook. Instead of clicking back and forth here on current classes, I can use these tabs at the top. So I can quickly, I'm in my gradebook, but I need to go take attendance real quickly. I can click on that new tab. So easy way to get back and forth. Okay, now we are in the gradebook or PowerTeacher Pro. When you first come into this screen, you will probably see it look like this. It has this overview that shows you where things are. So for instance, over in the left under grading, it's where you enter the scores for your assignments or for your students. Under students, I can select a student and go look at various different screens for that student. I can select my classes up here in the navigation bar. Right now, it took me to the class where I said I wanted to go, but I can drop this down and I can look at other classes. I can look at different time periods, sections. If I had data from last year, if I was using the gradebook last year, I could go back and look at that. This is where I create assignments, but I also create observations here. I also create categories. It does a lot more than just assignments, but that's what you will be using it for mostly. Again, we have a help, system help. It will show you the PowerSchool documentation for help. You don't always have access to a video or somebody to ask. Help is your friend. Under your initials, you can change your text size to small, medium, and large, and I'll show you all of that. In the center, you get the Welcome to PowerTeacher Pro. And it gives you this little video that says, hey, here's all about PowerTeacher Pro. If I click on that video and click play, I'm going to see the welcome. But under here, a little further down where it says what's new in PowerSchool, if you click on that and say view more, you can go back and see what's new since last year. Maybe go back. I went back as far as 2111 because it had some really good information. When you click on this, it will bring that video up and it will tell you what's included in that video. So a good way to see These are usually like 2, 3 minute videos. They're not very long. Tells you how to create a group, talks about how to do multiple categories, which is one of the newest things. So very helpful. If once you've closed it, it's gone, you want to get it back, go up to help and say getting started, and it will put it back. If you click on help and go to what's new, it's just that screen without all the, hey, go here, go there. Very helpful. So again, let's talk about this. Current classes takes me back to the teacher portal. My class selector, I can select by classes. It's telling me I am in 26-27, and these are my classes that I have. Over here, it gives me the term. This is my S2, this is my S1, this is my full year. And if I click on that, that's the class I'm going to be looking at. This little blue grid will take me to the score sheet where I see by student every single assignment that in this grading period that I'm in. And I can add scores there. I can do a lot with the score sheet. And then if I click on the other little grid, this is my progress. And I will talk about all of these briefly when we get to those. I can also go to groups. I can say I want all my classes, and it lumps all of my classes together. Or I can see a group of maybe just my 2 speech classes. And that allows me to work within those classes. I'm going to change it back to just my class here. I'm going to kind of go from the right. So let's go to, this is where I sign out on my initials, or I can view small, medium, and large. Where I really see this a lot as helpful is on the score sheet. I have it set to large. I can see about 14 kids, and each thing is pretty large. They did this for people who want to use a tablet. It's a really good place to look at a tablet. If I have it on medium, I see some more kids and I see more information. I see maybe some icons. I see some things in color. If I have it on small, which nobody liked, things are, I see all of my kids instead of seeing category names or flag names, I see colors. I'm going to change it back to large just for our video. So that's what I do with my initials. Again, help, PowerSchool, help. Here's my report queue. If I click on it and there's a number there, it means I have a report there. If I click on the report queue, we already saw what that looked like. It looks a little different on the PowerTeacher Pro side, but it still shows me my reports, and I can still run it and delete it, whatever. Then I have my plus sign. This is where I create an assignment. This is what you're going to be doing most of the time. You're coming in, you're looking at your score sheet, you're creating an assignment. And so let's talk about creating an assignment. When you create an assignment, you select the classes. You can do one class. You can select all your classes. You can select, maybe I just want this class. But you can select however you want to do this. Then you have to give it a name. It's required. It's going to say it's missing. You gave it a name. Sample video whatever you want. And then you select a category. A category, think of it as like your overall, your folder that you're putting your assignments in. I can do a homework folder. I can do a project folder, and my assignments fall within that folder. Some are set by the district. Some are set by PowerSchool. You get them by default. And some you can create yourself. Your district will tell you, we want you to use, for example, I have a district that wants all of their categories to be summative or formative. And then when you make your assignments, you decide which of those you want. So your primary category, I'm going to say this is summative. And this is new within PowerSchool. You can read about it in the What's New, multiple categories. I can say I want it to be summative, but it's also a quiz. I can give this, if I have multiple classes, it tells me up here I've got 3 classes. I can give them all a different due date. Maybe I don't want to grade all my homework or my quizzes all in the same day, or I'm giving them on different days. They have A days and B days, whatever. I can have different due dates for that. Or I can just do a single due date. The due date is really, really important when you are in your grade book, because that determines which term it falls under. So if I am in quarter 1 or say I'm in quarter 2, but I pick a due date that's not in quarter 2, it's going to put that in whatever term I'm actually in based on the date. So if I say my due date is October 3rd, it's going to put my assignment in that term that October 3rd is in. Because sometimes we get people who say, I created an assignment and I can't find it and it's gone. It's because it's usually the due date. And then you have score type. You have several kinds of score types. Your category determined what it was. So I said summative, mine is set up for points and 10 points automatically. I can change that. I can say I want it to show the percent, I want it to show the letter grade based on my grade scale, or collected only. Collected only is a really nice score type. So for instance, what if I have an assignment called permission slip and I just want to know if they turned it in. I can say collected only and it just puts a check mark. So very, very helpful there. But I'm going to leave it at 10 points, and I can give it extra points. I can give it weight. So I can say it's worth 10 points, but I'm going to let them have a bonus of, if they do extra credit, 2 points. That means I can enter up to 12 points when I grade this assignment. If I click over on the student tab, I can give this to all my students in all 3 classes, or I can say show selected. Oops, show all. Click back on show all. I can filter for certain students, or I can uncheck this box and I can say this kid, this kid, this kid. Maybe this is a makeup assignment. And then these are the kids who will get the assignment. I don't have to give it to everybody. You're not doing standards. Publish, again, set by your category. Category says publish it immediately, and publish the scores. If you don't want that, you can uncheck that. And then you have 2 buttons at the bottom. I can save and I can save and close. If I click on save, saves it, and it gives me the opportunity to duplicate it. So I want another one, and it gave it sample video assignment _1. I can change the name. I can leave it as _1. I can give it a different due date. This is really good if you're doing a weekly assignment. Maybe I'm going to give everybody till September 23rd to do this. I can change these things and then I can save it and then I can duplicate that if I want. When I am all done, I'm not making any more. I'm not going to make more duplicates. I can save and close. Before I do that, though, I want to talk about delete. So be very careful in deleting an assignment. If you've deleted an assignment that you've given to multiple classes, you have gotten rid of that assignment for all of those classes. So maybe you were thinking you're only going to get rid of it for one class. There's a better way than coming here. You want to change your classes, unselect the other classes. You just want the class that you want. There's full documentation in the meta documentation called How to Delete an Assignment for Multiple Students. Check it out. Anyway, I'm all done. I'm going to click on Save and Close. I can go to Score Assignment, gave me that little option there. And now I can come here. Here's my assignment. I can put in a grade. So it says I can put up to 12 points. So this kid got 5, and this kid got 8, and this kid got 12. He gets the 2 bonus points. This kid got 10. Maybe everybody else got 10. Over here on the right, we call this the score inspector. I can fill down. If I fill down, it fills it for everybody. I'm going to say, okay. Notice how it's got this brown outline around it. That means that it is not saved yet. I need to save my scores. So now I have saved it and we're good to go. For you, when you first sign in, the default screen is your assignment list. Shows me the category, all of the assignments per this grading period up here on the right. This is my quarter 1. If I go to quarter 2, it's going to show me the assignments I have in quarter 2. If I go to S1, it's going to show me assignments in both quarter 1 and quarter 2. So it shows me the category. Here's the one that had the multiple. It shows me that I scored it. I scored all my kids. You might see some up here. This says 27 out of 29. Could be I marked it with a missing flag or a absent flag. I didn't do all of them. If I need to edit my assignment, I can click on the edit button and I can change which classes, the points. I can change anything, which students, or I can duplicate it again. I can delete it, but again, I would not delete it because I'm deleting it for all 4. So lots of things, but this is usually your default screen. You can change that screen. So we're going to go look, since we talked about, oh, here's your quarter. It actually shows you the dates. So when you are creating an assignment, you want to look at that. You're not sure if that's in quarter 1 or quarter 2. You can look at the date and see where the break is to put it in the right place. On this screen, I see a gear. The gear does different things on different screens. This one, I can say show filter. So on my filter, I can look for a certain assignment. Maybe I want anything that has the word assignment in it. And I can filter that way. And then I can clear it out. And I can copy assignments. So I can copy assignments from one reporting term to the next. So I can make all my quarter 1 assignments, but I want the same kind of assignments in quarter 2. I can copy them to quarter 2. Maybe I want to copy them to semester 2. So I can copy assignments from one to another. I can copy assignments to other classes. So I teach this in speech and I want to give it to all of my other classes. I can do that using the copy assignments. I want to go down to settings. And we're going to talk real quickly about class descriptions. This is where you see each of your classes. This is where you can give it that class custom name. So these beginning acting, I want to call them my beginning hands. And I can save it. This is also where I can put my class description. When I showed you the quick lookup screen where you can see class description, you can put your class rules here. You can put something about yourself. You can put a link to a research site. You can do a lot of stuff here in your class description. Unfortunately, there's no good copy. So if you put something here in your class description, you would want to highlight it, copy it, and paste it in the next one. Back to settings, we're going to look at your display settings. How do I want to see my classes? Do I want to see them and my students? Do I want to see it section number or by period day? Or I can come down here and say by custom name. I want to see it by what I am calling it. Parents don't see it, reports don't see it unless you want them to, but it just makes it easier for me. So I'm going to say course custom, but period day is your default. Traditional grades, that puts that column on your score sheet and some other screens. It actually shows me the final grade. And what do I want to see? Do I want to see just the grade or do I want to see the grade percent and points? I have it set to everything so I can show you that. You are not using standards, so you can uncheck that. How do you want to see your kids? Last first middle, first last? It's your grade book. How do you want to see it? Do you want to see your newly enrolled students at the bottom? So for instance, in your old paper grade book, when you got a new kid, you had to write them in at the bottom. Do you want to continue to do that? And do you want to hide pre-registered students? So that means kid comes in on a Friday and he's registered into your class. I don't want to see him on my roster until he actually shows up on Tuesday. If you say hide, he won't show up until Tuesday. This is where I change my screen from assignment list to score sheet or whatever screen you want it to be when you first sign in. Comment bank. The district has a comment bank. You can create your own. You can go to my comments, create a comment bank. And once you do that, here's the district one in my test database. I can mark something as a favorite. So it shows up on the top. I can filter. And then when I am creating comments, I can just click on comment bank and click on this and it will put that comment in for me. Class grade scales, it's possible for you or for your admin, depending on your settings, to have a student on a different grade scale than everybody else. So maybe you have a student that you want on a special ed or a pass-fail grade scale. You can set that and that would be done there. Student grade scale, same thing. Traditional grade calculations, this is an important one. So this is saying for this class, how is that final grade calculated? Your district may say you can do whatever you want with your quarters, but we are setting the semester and the full year, and you cannot edit it. So notice there's no checkbox there. So you can click on it and see it, but you can't edit it. So this is saying it's taking quarter one and quarter two, each is worth 50% to get your final grade for the semester. But the one that you can edit, you can say total points. You can say category weighting. So maybe I want this to be my summative. My district said they wanted 20%. And I click on my little plus sign, and they want this one to be 80%. And that it will automatically, when I save it, automatically recalculate that for me, that percentage. So that is how is the final grade calculated. Notice I have a checkbox up here under multiple categories. If that's an X, your district has said you can't use multiple categories. And student groups. If I would have created a group, which I do here, I come up here to my plus sign and I say group, and I can give it a name, and group blue, give it a name. I can add all my students. Maybe it's for one class. I can say I just want these kids in my group, and I can save it. Unfortunately, in my database, it's not allowing me to save. It's a function that I don't have in this training database. I can put a description in. See if it'll, no, it won't let me, but it should let you. But I would see any groups that I created, I would see them on this page. So we're going to go back up to class. This is where you can see your observations. It will take you back to that student observation screen, and you can make a new one. Class alerts, it's a screen that will show you by student each of your student and any alerts that they have. And then some of these other things could be third-party vendors. Grading is where you see your assignment list. We already talked about that. Your score sheet, and the score sheet is almost looks like an Excel spreadsheet. Gives you the student, gives you their course and grade, gives you each assignment. Notice I don't have any grades here. Well, I had grades before. It's because for this course, I said everything had to be calculated with a summative and a formative. I don't have anything except this one. I have one assignment here that is a summative or a formative. Had I left that alone and left it as it was, maybe go to a different class and you can see that. If I go here, there you go. Because it's actually calculating based on those categories I said I wanted to use to calculate this final grade for my quarter. I have a filter. I can filter by show me anything that's due this month or just maybe this week. I can, if I don't use that filter, I have some other options. I can click on that plus sign. I can filter by assignment name. I can filter by category. So say I want to see, what do I have that's summative? Or what do I have that's classwork? This is the only assignment I have that is classwork. So if I use the filter, I can come up to this gear and I can hide that filter. I can say show the summary. Summary shows me the grade, what grade scale I'm using. It's saying I'm using category weighting for my calculation. It shows me the grade of the first kid I'm on here and his percent. If I say show more, it shows me the actual grade scale. How is the grade scale broken down? What's my formula? Well, my formula is I'm using formative and summative. I can say show less. I can also show metrics. This is showing me my mean, median, and mode. I can show that, I can leave it on, I can hide it. From score sheet, I can also copy assignments. I am going to come back up here. Let's go to a different class. On my gear, I'm going to go back to my score sheet. I can say show the assignments from the most recent. So this is showing me, 8:15, 8:24, 8:25. If I say from most recent, it will reverse that. And I can see the latest one first. The other thing I can do here is recalculate final grades. You may be asked by your district to recalculate grades for whatever reason. They may have changed a grade scale. They may have changed something, or you have something that looks like it just didn't calculate correctly. You can click on recalculate final grades. You can do all your classes at once, or you can do just one class, whatever you want to do. You only want to do traditionals. We're not using standards. I would do the advanced options. I would refresh the assignment scores and recalculate. Okay, back to our score sheet. When I am scoring and I click in a cell, I get the score inspector over here on the right. It lets me know, or it gives me the option of based on how I set up my assignment. Can I put in grades? Can I put in points? This one's telling me I can put in up to 25 points. If I try to put in a bigger number, it will tell me it's invalid. In addition to putting in the score, I have flags. I can put in, this is a missing assignment. Once the assignment's turned in, I can take that flag off and then put in the actual score. I can preview grades. So I can click in here and I can say if this kid had a 25, and then I come down here and preview the grade, it will tell me does that change it. And then I can cancel the preview. It's in brown. It's telling me what it would do, but I haven't saved it. I can then just cancel out of that preview and not save it. I'm going to put this back. And save that. Anytime I want to go to the next kid, I can just move down the list, or I can use over on the right in the score inspector. I can move to the next kid that way. It's just different ways to enter information. If I put a comment on something, it will put this little blue dialog box, and I can see that there's a comment. I can also, if I wanted to add a comment, I could type it on the score inspector in this box. I also could use my comment bank. If I click on that far top comment box, I can say show the comment bank, and then I can just pick and choose. I want that comment, I want this comment, I want this comment. I can filter for comments, but different ways that I can add that comment. And then I can always come back and click on it to see what the comment is. I can save it. I want to keep my scores. if I decided that, what if I had a kid? So let's look at Aubrey down here has a 93% and an A minus. If I click in here, I'm going to go back to my score inspector. This is the final grade column, the one that says course grade, final grade column. In your settings where you said show traditional grades, that means you can see this column. This is showing me the grade, the points, and the percentage, which is what I said I wanted to see when I checked that in settings. If I decided that Aubrey really, she's worked really hard, her grade doesn't reflect what um, she really should have, I can change her grade, and it puts that little black dog earmark there. If I save that, and then I come in and I add some assignments and I do some other things, even if I recalculate, it will never change this grade because I said this kid has an A. I rule. I can override this grade book. You can change this grade anytime. But notice over here in the score inspector, it says, well, her calculated grade was an A minus. If I wanted to go back to that calculated grade, or I wanted to add more assignments and let it calculate, I would just hit this little half arrow. That takes that dog ear off and it puts it back the way it was. So just some important things to remember when you're trying to score. So I can go to grading. We already saw that. I am on score sheet. I can click on a kid, and now I am on this kid, and I can look at his assignments. I've moved down to students. I can click on students and see these are the different screens I can go to for this student. And I can go to the next kid and I can go to the next kid. I can also use these arrows at the top. So lots of different ways to see information on students and to change information. But if I don't want to go there, I can come up here beside her name and assignments and I can drop that down. I can also go to those same screens. I clicked on observations. It opened in a new tab. It actually took me back to the teacher portal is where I'm actually creating that. If I go to another screen, let's say I want to go to her demographic screen, I can do that. So different ways to get around. I can go here by going up to the student's name, or I can click over here on students. I can show my drop students. So these are my active kids. These are my dropped kids. And I can see not every screen on these kids, but I can see a lot of screens. So even when a kid is dropped, what you've put in the grade book is still there. You didn't lose it. It's available here. Reports, I can go to reports. These are the built-in PowerSchool reports. They all work in a similar fashion. I'm going to show you student roster very quickly. I can change the name of the report. I can select one class or multiple classes. I can use my custom name. If that's not checked, it will give me the actual class name. I can sort it. And what columns, this is the student roster report. What columns do I want to see? Right now I'm showing the student name, the student number, student gender, but I can, when I add columns, these are student columns, the next one down is contacts. So I could add, maybe I want to add the contact name or the contact phone number, contact email. I'm just clicking on add. I can also put in a blank column. So if I had a grid, I wanted to use this roster and I wanted to have some blank columns on this roster, I would just keep saying, I want blank. I want to add 2 blank ones. Or I can come here and rename that blank one to anything I want it to be. I'm going to say collected. And then when I run this report, I can be able to see those columns that I created. I can also run this report for just selected students, all the kids in the class, or I can add and remove students. I only want certain students. I only want this report to show me these 3 kids. Then I would click on Run Report, and it's telling me I needed a contact name. I only said phone, contact email. I need the name as well. So it kind of keeps you from shooting yourself in the foot. But once I run that report, I can go back up to my report queue and view and print that report. So this was just a brief overview. There are so many ways to get around in PowerSchool, in the gradebook. And remember, the help is your friend. Getting started is very helpful. The what's new videos are very helpful. And you should have teacher leaders in your building who've been through a full training who can help you with any questions that you would have. The only other thing I want to mention is if your district locks the gradebook, you'll get a message and it will tell you you can only put in these grades until midnight on this date. They do that usually 4 or 5 days after the term ends so that you can, so teachers can't go back and put in grades after they have stored the grades so you don't have a mismatch. If it's after the fact and it's locked and you need it open, you go to your administrator or your school secretary, ask her to unlock the section. She can unlock the section. You can make your changes, but then you need to also tell her what changes you're making so that she can update the stored grades. So one other thing, when you're all done with your grades and it's the end of the term and you need to put in your notice to the administration that you are done. I would come here, you can review all your reporting terms, you can look at all your grades, you can also go to your category totals. If you're using this screen for categories, if you're doing a category calculation, it will tell you each of your categories, what the grade is, what the percentage is. Over here on summative, where I have multiple, it will show me everything that's summative, but it will also show me just the ones that are a secondary category. So you're reviewing, you're making sure everything's done. You can come to this comment verification screen. This is a really great screen. You can put all your comments here. There are other places to put in bulk comments. I like this screen because I can come here and I can put in a comment and I can say, Tony is doing well. He is very enthusiastic. And now I can come over to my fill arrow and I can use this fill for on my grades and fill down. I can use it for comments. I'm just going to fill down comments only because I don't want to change the grade or the flags. It's going to ask me about smart text. Do I want to use that? I'm going to say yes, because when I do that, it's going to fill down and it's going to say Joseph is doing well. He is enthusiastic. Gail is doing well. She is very enthusiastic. And then it does a lot of um, your, his, her, that kind of thing. And maybe Justin here is not very enthusiastic. I can adjust that. I can say Tony, or sorry, I can say Justin is not doing well. Once I have this little brown box is telling me I haven't saved it, I can save it, and then I've made a comment for all of my kids. So I'm all done. I've put in all my grades. It's the end of the grading period. The last thing you need to do is come to this little button, and the comment verification screen is a good screen to see it on. It's on a couple screens, not all. Click on Final Grade Status and say, yes, I am done. You can even put a comment on it. Maybe you're not done. Don't check the box. I won't be done until Monday. It doesn't matter if you actually do this as far as your grades being stored. Your grades are going to be stored anyway. Your grades or final grades are there. They're, when your administration stores it, they're going to be correct. What this does is tell your administrator that you are done, because the administrator will come in and run a report and say, show me who's done with their grades, who's not done with their grades. And if you didn't check the box, they're going to call you up and say, how come you're not done with your grades? And you're going to say, well, I am done with my grades, but you forgot to check the box. That's all that that really does. So again, lots of stuff, very powerful program, the portal and the gradebook. If you want more information, you know where to find that, the help, the videos, and your teacher leaders in your school. So thanks for joining me for this overview.